You've been composting wrong. Well, maybe not wrong, but not nearly as efficiently as you could be. Most gardeners carefully layer their greens and browns, give the pile a sprinkle of water, and then wait months for nature to take its course. But what if one simple, often ignored step could turn that slow, average compost pile into a nutrient-charged engine of soil fertility? This overlooked addition doesn't cost a thing, requires no fancy ingredients, and could cut your composting time in half. Welcome to Crop Corner, where we uncover the science behind thriving soil. Today, we're diving into the hidden compost layer, a thin, mineral-rich addition that restores balance, locks in nutrients, and turns your pile into a living powerhouse of microbes and minerals. Composting works on a delicate balance, carbon-rich brown and nitrogen-rich greens working in harmony. When those two are balanced, microbes thrive, heat builds, and organic matter transforms into dark, crumbly compost. But there's one crucial piece that most gardeners leave out: minerals. Without minerals, your compost still breaks down, but much more slowly and less efficiently. The result is often a sour smell, nutrient loss, and clumpy texture. Every time nitrogen escapes as ammonia, that's fertility lost to the air instead of feeding your plants. The solution? A mineral layer that stabilizes your pile, traps nitrogen, balances pH, and feeds beneficial microbes exactly what they need to thrive. That thin dusting of garden soil or finely ground rock dust between your compost layers is more than just filler, it's a microbial activator. It introduces billions of beneficial microorganisms directly into your pile. These microbes act like a biological starter culture, breaking down cellulose, proteins, and complex organic compounds much faster than greens and browns alone could manage. At the same time, minerals such as calcium, magnesium, and iron enrich your compost's nutrient profile. They create microhabitats, tiny air pockets that improve aeration and help retain moisture, allowing your pile to heat up quickly and decompose evenly. The result? A compost pile that doesn't just decompose, it transforms at triple speed. Start by creating a breathable foundation. Lay down a base of coarse materials like small twigs or straw. This helps air circulate from the bottom up. Alright, so now you'll want to begin layering in this order. First, add your browns, dry leaves, shredded paper, or straw. These are your primary carbon source. Next, go ahead and layer your greens, like fresh grass clippings, kitchen scraps, or even coffee grounds, for that all-important nitrogen. Then, sprinkle a thin, even layer of garden soil or mineral-rich rock dust right across the surface. This is your secret layer, your microbial activator, and it really makes a difference. It should be roughly half an inch thick, just enough to coat the surface, but not smother it. Now, lightly moisten the layer to kickstart microbial activity. Then you just repeat the process: browns, greens, mineral dust, water. Keep going and continue building until your pile reaches about 1 meter high. Finish it off with a final layer of soil on top. This seals in heat, retains moisture, and helps keep pests at bay. For perfect results, keep this ratio in mind: 3 parts browns, 1 part greens, and 1/4 part mineral layer. So here's what that looks like in practice. For a small garden, say about 1 square meter, you'll want to use 3 buckets of browns, 1 bucket of greens, and about 1/4 bucket of soil or rock dust for each layer. Now, if you're working with a medium garden, around 3 square meters, you'll need 1 wheelbarrow of browns, 1/3 of a wheelbarrow of greens, and 1/4 wheelbarrow of soil per layer. It's all about keeping those proportions balanced, you know? As you build your compost, water carefully. Think about 2 liters for every 10 kilograms of compost material. You want the pile to feel moist, kind of like a wrung-out sponge, but definitely not soggy. If there's too much water, the microbes can't breathe, and if there's too little, well, their work slows way down. Be sure to turn the pile every few days during the first 2 to 3 weeks. This helps bring in oxygen and spreads the heat evenly through the pile. Within just a few weeks, you'll start to notice some changes, a sweet, earthy smell, a real burst of internal heat, and you'll see the materials shrinking down. These are all great signs that your compost is active, alive, and breaking down fast. If your compost starts smelling sour or like ammonia, it's a clear sign of nutrient loss. That means you've either skipped your mineral layer or added too many greens. So just sprinkle in more dry browns and a dusting of soil, then turn the pile for aeration. If decomposition slows, the pile might be too compact. Loosen it gently with a fork and add another light mineral layer as you rebuild. For piles that seem too dry, just mist lightly until moisture returns to that sponge-like texture. Remember, the key isn't more ingredients, it's consistent layering. Each mineral layer renews microbial life and locks in nutrients, maintaining a steady decomposition rhythm from top to bottom. Traditional composting can take months because, well, nutrients and microbes aren't evenly distributed. The mineral layer fixes that by creating these microzones where decomposition really thrives. It also neutralizes acidity, reduces odors, and stabilizes nitrogen, all critical factors for high-quality compost. Think of it this way. A compost pile without minerals breaks down organically, but, pretty slowly, while one with this mineral layer breaks down biologically, powered by millions of thriving microbes working at peak efficiency. It's nature's own version of fast-forward composting. This technique works for every setup, from a small balcony bin to a large multi-compartment compost system. For smaller spaces, just keep the same ratio but reduce quantities. For bigger gardens, consider a 3-pile system, 1 pile building, 1 resting, 1 ready to use. No matter the scale, the mineral layer remains constant. It's consistency, not the amount, that really keeps your compost working like a living engine. This method isn't new. In forests, every layer of fallen leaves is naturally separated by a thin film of soil dust or mineral-rich sediment. That's how nutrients recycle and ecosystems renew themselves effortlessly. Bringing this principle into your garden, well, it reconnects your composting process with the natural rhythm of soil life. When you include that hidden layer of minerals, your compost doesn't just decompose faster. It becomes richer, cleaner, and honestly biologically alive. It feeds your soil with everything plants need to grow stronger, deeper, and more resilient. So there you have it, the compost layer most gardeners forget, but every thriving garden needs. Just half an inch of soil or rock dust between your greens and browns changes everything. It speeds decomposition, traps nutrients, neutralizes odors, and produces compost so nutrient-dense that your crops will show the difference within weeks. If this guide helped you understand composting in a whole new light, don't stop here. Go build your own pile, try this method, and see the transformation for yourself. Then share your results with other gardeners. Let's keep the soil alive together. And before you head back out to your garden, don't forget to subscribe to Crop Corner for more proven, science-backed ways to grow healthier plants and richer soil. Together, we'll rebuild the ground that feeds us, one hidden layer at a time.